Hello.
Hello,
Who you in?
Tom Burrell.
Okay.
Welcome.
Okay. First session, or the only session, discussion and or decision to approve and authorize the board to sign resolution number 25, 2026, entitled Resolution Directing Sale of $6 million, subject to adjustment per term of offering, general obligation capital loan notes, series 2026.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Maggie?
I'm Maggie Berger with Spear Financial. We've provided a letter to you here. This is our standard award letter. As mentioned, we did sell bonds this morning, general obligation capital loan notes. I was explaining that they're notes. Bonds are all the same. The reason we call them notes is we don't have to publish all of the notices of sale, which in a county that can be very costly to you because you probably publish with multiple newspapers. So we have $6 million of general obligation capital loan notes, series 2026. As you can see from this front page of our letter, we did receive 7 bids today, 7 being a very good number, a number that we probably are used to seeing somewhere in that 5 to 7 to 8 bids when we're talking about anything from $5 million up to $10 million. So again, pretty standard. We are recommending that you would award to Robert W. Baird of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Their true interest rate there at the top of the list is 2.9984. I was explaining to one of your supervisors just a little bit ago, that is the lowest interest rate that we have seen. And we'll call it modern times, and we're talking the last 18 months. That TIC, that just below 3% is very low. What it though constitutes is that the interest rates you will see in a couple pages down is 4% all the way down. Very standard. That's what we're seeing. They're going to give you $255,913.75 in a premium. And that's what we're also seeing. So what they're doing is they're saying, well, we're going to give you money up front. It's not money that you have to pay back. You still only owe the $6 million. Those premium dollars are dollars we're willing to give you because we want a 4% investment for the 10-year term that your bonds are going to be outstanding. And if I'm an investor, I'm willing to give you some money up front in today's money, because if I get a 4% investment for 7, 8 years, that's going to make me more than what I'm giving you up front in the time. Correct. They're buying that interest rate down. The $255,000 of premium that you're getting, you have 2 ways that you can spend that money. You can spend it on the purpose of this project. So whatever you held the public hearing on, and I know that the board is going to use some cash, you could reduce the amount of cash that you were going to use from your fund balances by this $255,000 and use this on the projects as well. If you do not use it on the project or the purposes that are allowable in this public hearing related to specifically to this project, you need to then put it in your debt service fund, and that will offset the amount that you levy for in future years for this bond issue, right? So that could be spent over the next couple of years if you put it in the debt service fund. We did see those interest rates range from a 2.99 down to a 3.18. It is common practice. I was explaining this morning that it is industry standard that you award based on the lowest TIC. There is no local preference in Iowa when it comes to bonds. So that does mean you are going to take the lowest TIC or you're going to reject the bids. We are not recommending that we would reject bids when we have the 2.99 interest rate. We go on, the second page of this packet is your Moody's rating press release. And so Moody's Investor Services, you all know about Moody's and S&P and Fitch. They are the 3 main rating agencies in the country. Moody's spent an hour on the phone with us about 3-4 weeks ago. We answered their questions. The county did a great job of answering questions, giving them information. They have reaffirmed you at a AA1 rating. So that AA1 rating outlines that you are issuing $6 million in bonds. That rating is 1 notch off of the top rating. The top rating for all rating agencies is a AAA, and the AA1 is the next rating down. I do a little highlighting here on page 1. It's talking about how you have a great fund balance. You're going to use some of that fund balance for this specific project, this communications project, and you'll still have a pretty healthy fund balance. Fund balance is very important in the world for Moody's because funds can use you can use those funds in emergency type situations. It might be that an emergency arises within the county, you may get that money back, but it may take a while. So it's always very important that you have fund balances. By you having a fund balance of above 40%, which is what they're looking at, then that is what they're saying is puts you into that AA1 category because that is a very healthy fund balance. We do highlight on this page that what could lead to the downgrade of a rating, again, weakening of the fund balance, material growth and long-term liabilities. So again, if you took your liabilities and issued, another $50 million in debt, they may look at that and say, well, that increases your liabilities ratio and we may not keep the AA1 rating. I think it's also important, what could lead you to an upgrade? I was mentioning before the meeting, there's probably a handful of credits in the state of Iowa that have that AAA rating, whether it's between Moody's or S&P or Fitch, the state of Iowa being one of those entities that has a AAA rating. It has a lot to do with factors that could lead to an upgrade, strengthening of residential income to AAA peers. That you might not have a lot of control over. How do you, as the supervisors, increase revenue incomes across the county? These are demographic items that are keeping you off that top notch that in Iowa, unfortunately, are sometimes things that we don't have a lot of control over. Continued expansion of the tax base. And they're looking for that expansion in a situation like this. They're putting you on a global scale. So although we are a state that is very rural, they look at the rural property as not a negative, but also not a positive. That, the rural property we have a lot of rural property in Iowa. So the rural property within your county is this level, but if there was a business built on top of it, it would be this level. That's not something that we're all wanting to probably see, right? So again, those are the types of things that are going to take you to that next level. But again, some of those demographics are completely out of your hands. That goes on for a few pages for them to give you all the disclosures about why they don't stand by their rating. And then we go to a page that sort of looks like this. It's got our logo at the top and it's got a whole bunch of information here. This is just a breakdown to show you three of these bidders bid a 4% interest rate. And then 4 of these investors bid a 5% interest rate. And you can tell because the 5% interest rate, that third one down, Brownstone Investment Group out of New York, they bid a 5% interest rate. So they wanted you to pay 5% each year on the bonds, but they were going to give you $503,000 in a premium to buy that interest rate from 5 down to what they thought could win it at 3.02. If you notice, though, you go 2.99 on that top interest rate in the far right corner, and you go down to the 3.18, and you're seeing a difference of $60,000, $70,000 in interest there. And that's really why we like to have competitive bids. It's just like a construction bid. There is a time and a place, and we want everyone to submit their bids, and we want to take the low bid, right? And today, Robert Baird just happened to be the one that offered that low bid. The very last page of this packet gives you the final debt service schedule. So this debt service schedule is locked in. And as you can see, the last 2 years of this, and it is a 9-year, it's not even a 10-year, it's a 9-year. The last 2 years of this are callable. And that just means that if at that time you want to pay the bonds off, you can do that. If you want to pay the bonds down, you can do that. If interest rates are much lower and you want to refinance at that time, when we do a refinance, though, on municipal debt, we only refinance out to the original maturity date. So it would be a 2-year refinance. Those are the types of action items that you would be able to take at that time. If interest rates are 3.5%, 4%, 5%, you just continue to make your payments as scheduled till maturity. And it's at that date or any date after that June 1st of 2033 date that you would be able to call these bonds in. So with that, I'd answer any questions that you have.
Did you all get this final page? I ended up with quite
Yes.
a number of them, so,
I
okay.
That one is just, that is a bid form that just needs to be signed after this by the chair.
Oh, maybe that's why.
That's why I got it. I think you've done a good job explaining.
You've been doing this a long time, haven't you?
Yeah, this is my 21st year with Spirit Financial, so have been doing this a long time. I've been over to Potawatomi County a lot through the years to do bonds. I enjoy what I do, and again, we work with cities, counties, schools, and community colleges across the state of Iowa.
So what county in Iowa has a better rating than AA1? I'm just curious.
Oh,
I think Dallas County, which is
Dallas.
outside of Des Moines, I think Dallas County has a AAA rating, the last I knew. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Johnson County and Lynn County used to have AAA ratings. Johnson County may still have a AAA rating. City of Iowa City has a AAA rating. So we were saying that, you know, the demographics are different there. Their resident income is, it's 103% of what the national resident income is, and things like that. And they carry approximately 108% fund balances. So,
Well, thank you.
yeah.
Any other questions?
You'll have documents in 2 weeks also to take action on. Those are very simple. Those are simple resolutions. And then this money will come to the county on May 13th. And that is not a meeting date. That is just a date that in the morning, the wire transfer will come from Baird. It will come into the county's coffers.
So when do we have to decide on if we're going to apply it against the project or apply it for debt service?
You actually have up to 3 years to make that decision. So you can look at that, you can discuss it, you can, as long as that money just comes into the project fund, it can sit there. And why I say 3 years is because of the size of this bond issue, you do have IRS spend down requirements. You need to spend these funds within approximately, it should be 24 to 36 month period. You can always go out to a 5-year period, but when you start to get over that 3-year period, you start to get the IRS, you might get on a list with the IRS that they want to see, you know, why you weren't spending those. You also can invest these funds. So I know our office and we have spoken with Becky Linehan, the treasurer's office will help you, and these funds can be invested while you spend these dollars as well.
I just wanted to make sure that didn't need to be part of the motion.
No,
today.
that's a great question.
that's a good question.
Okay,
Thank you.
I have no questions. Do
Thank
you?
Maggie.
Jeff?
Nope.
Susan?
I have no further questions.
Hey, so I need a motion to approve this resolution directing the sale of $6 million bond.
I'll make that motion.
Okay,
I'll second the motion.
would you do roll call, please?
Yes. Chairman Shay,
Aye.
Supervisor Jorgensen,
Aye.
Supervisor Jones.
Aye.
Supervisor Miller,
Aye.
Supervisor Wickman absent.
Okay, that's all we got. I need a motion to adjourn.
Make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? We are adjourned.